Wholeness, greetings, my cosmic folks, not stuck in the past or the future, but living in the present, which is like presence, right? And you are presence to everybody if they understood that you're presence, whether they know it or not. Family members, friends. But anyways, special one today. We're going to go a little off the cuff, but not really. There's a specific thing I was asked, and I'm going to talk about that today. You say, what specifically were you asked? I had some questions for some people, if I could explain the shirt. And that's one of the questions. Ray Phoenix is a professional wrestler because their statement, which is true, that's so much like a 1977 concert, what's the word I'm looking for? Tour in 1977 by Led Zeppelin with the manned angel, or the androgynous angel, looks like a man. And this is Ray Phoenix, who is actually his lucha libre or AEW professional wrestler, but lucha style, lucha libre. Actually, in Pasadena, they have him and his brother have Lucha Republic, lucha wrestler, because this is the Led Zeppelin thing. Everything from the way the angel looks to even the bottom, how it's written. But this is his shirt. It's not the 1977 tour that Led Zeppelin had this angelic angel on it, because they actually had created their own music label, and it was called Swan Song, and this was their symbol, the angel. But anyways, so the other question, and that's a question, so I answered this one's we're gonna go a little bit deeper on. This one was, I noticed that you mentioned the toolbox quite often, right? That you mentioned the toolbox quite often. And can you elaborate on what the toolbox is and what it represents or what it means, or how do I use it? So very, very good question. Very, very good question. Very good question. And the toolbox, because if you look at my descriptions and all my videos, it will always, and I always put designing your own toolbox, making your own toolbox. So what the toolbox is, it's a metaphor, it's a metaphysical toolbox. It's allegorical. It's not a regular handyman toolbox that you would hold, but it is a metaphysical toolbox. It represents that you need to use this toolbox. The number one thing that you need is awareness. And you go, why do you say awareness? You need to be in your awareness because it's your number one tool. It is your toolbox, awareness. So first, before you put tools in your toolbox, you need to have a toolbox. So metaphysically is having your awareness on point. This would go with knowing yourself, right? Because what we do is we want to know ourselves. And the knowing yourself with the toolbox is very much, you have to be aware. And the awareness is kind of the number one factor in the foundation of raising or expanding your consciousness, is experiencing the awareness of the now. That's why I started with past, present, but we live in the past and future, right? If you live in the past, you'll live in regret. If you live in the future, you live in worry. If you're always thinking about that and living in those places when they're not being you're not being present, because being present is a presence of receiving a present, right? Because you're living in the now, you're enjoying the now. That's why a lot of the times a lot of people would quote and say, it's not about the destination, but the journey to get to the destination is the experience that you get. Hence, what did you learn? What did you experience? So awareness keeps you in the presence now, to be aware. So you're being aware of self. And in the awareness, you're going to understand there's things that are going to come your way that want to throw you out of awareness into a reactionary mode of the past, present, hurts, weaknesses, whatever your weaknesses, specific weaknesses. It would take you out of being creative, out of your space. I even go listen to former videos. It really will get into some of my older videos going back to even 22, 2021. You will find kind of more an explanation of this. Staying in the presence of present is a gift, right? Staying there, and then your awareness, because you know that you're living in your expanded place of awareness and in a mode to receive and in a mode to give, right? So when something tries to take you into your ego, into your unbelief, into the things that really are your weakness, that they can get to you, right? Whatever your weakness is, you know somebody that lacks, that has been, look at this magic. See that magic? My arm is resting in the air. It's elevating, right? It's levitating. Not really. There's a chair that you don't see here. But back to what I'll digress and go back to exactly what we're talking about, is being aware. I've talked a lot about leaking your energy. And I would use examples like tightening the bolts, the screws, so you don't leak. Because the vampires like the leakage. They like to suck your energy. There's always, what is the word? Succubuses right there. That will suck you like a vampire to leak your energy, steal your energy, right? Thieves steal your energy. Vampires, right? So things like awareness is a foundation. And then from there, what is your tools that you can use personally to keep you in the space that you need to space, so you don't fall into your weaknesses, meaning you don't fall into whatever would take you off your course, because you're aware and you see it coming. Now you're so aware that you see situations in your life coming that you know it's going to bring this that usually is your weakness, or this is to make you drop your frequency or into a lower realm, or can throw you off, get you angry to the point where you blow a gasket, get you jealous, whatever your weakness is. And it could be many things. Whatever would throw you off your groove, whatever would throw you off your vibrational rhythm that you want to stay of, because you want to stay in that higher frequency and vibration and consciousness to create, to draw to you in these spaces that won't repel. Remember, if you're leaking energy, you're going to run out of gas. You're going to have a breakdown with your oil, right? So like if you're leaking stuff, means you're losing energy, which is like losing power. A video game, right? You can see somebody starts with 100%, now they're down to 78. But if they go to use an example, this video games, you go to another spot, like Mario, you're going to eat a mushroom and maybe you'll get bigger and stronger. That kind of what I'm talking about. What keeps you in space? What keeps your awareness? You see it coming now. Before it used to sideswipe you and you didn't see it coming, right? Or come from behind you and get you a good chokehold, or do something like that. And I'm using this spiritually, metaphorically. It could be somebody else. Just being in their presence always allows you to go into certain aspects when they're of a lower consciousness. Or they want to set you off into your frustration, anger, unbelief, divide you, whatever you know your weaknesses is that kind of takes you into these places, right? When you do it, what really makes you function in that lower level, or brings you down out of your space of higher. So when I say tools, it's having these tools that you use to keep you make adjustments on yourself in time, so you don't fall and have to rekindle and rebuild back up. And maybe you had something going on energetic wise today, and now all of a sudden you can't do it today because you allowed too much energy to drain. Hence, like that, not kind of, that's what it is, to keep you in a space. For me, I've noticed a good mindset, a very, very positive mindset. What keeps you in a positive, creative mindset, not into the negative mindset? Because negativity sells in this world, as you know, and you have a lot of people who there's people that watch CNN and all of these news channels 365, 24/7. You're not going to get a positive mindset from them. right? Or a belief system. So what reboots you when you see it coming and it's there? What can you do to shake up yourself? What is your, we would use it in mental health as coping skills to maintain your volume of frequency, vibration, and energetic field to a place. So you might, you need a tightening, you need to change something. For me, I would say like being aware, catching it, right? Seeing it. Awareness was so, because the awareness gives you visibility spiritually, third eye, to see it coming. So you can even avert it, for one, and not go to certain spaces. Two, could it be for many, exercise, a deep breathing, something sometimes you need to do immediately, and an exercise for an hour is not going to be happening. So you need something immediately. Maybe it's just getting your own space and just deep breathing, and just deep breathe a few times. And that's like a reboot to your being. I see deep breathing exercises reboots. I've said many times that on here, right? For some people, exercise, just going out and exercising keeps them out of certain places. But sometimes you get in places where you can't go exercise. So you do a deep breathing exercise. I mean, for me, that's the works. Mindset of gratitude all the time. Gratitude's another one that I use. What is your weakness? Are you somebody that's just a grateful person no matter what? It's your nature almost. That probably isn't going to be the thing that throws you off. You're always gratitude. It might be that it's hard for you to deal with negativity, because sometimes negativity is not negativity. There's a difference between negative and being the truthful one, because sometimes negativity can be pawned as truth, truth can be pawned as negativity, and it just depends how it's initiated, what's the intention. But sometimes it's just the damn truth, right? It's just the darn truth. And sometimes I'd rather hear the truth, because the truth doesn't care about your feelings. And sometimes a lot of this is connected to feelings that are weaknesses. The feelings aspect, the ego aspect wants to get in and use your weaknesses. What's your weakness? Is your weakness strawberry ice cream? And you know that you don't need it, whatever reason. It could be multiple reasons you don't need that strawberry ice cream, from health to just wanting to be more healthy, right? And when you go by this certain place, it's coming. I'm going by 31 flavors. I'm driving by strawberry saying, come here, come here. And you deep breathe and you change your momentum. And then you don't give in to it. Or whatever your tool is, maybe take a different way as the tool. You go, I'm gonna go around, take this first right before I get by there, and go around and make the next left and go back out that way and not see this at all. That could be it. But your awareness will anchor you to make the change. Why I say deep breathing, I think deep breathing reboots our whole energetic field in our soul. There's something about the reboot, like the resetting, right? Or when you restart your computer, right? The deep breathing has something to do with, definitely. In fact, in whether you're looking at going into a higher frequency or consciousness, I've talked up here about the plant-based, which there's nothing wrong with them. But the mystics and the teachers and them would say, there's the depths would say, call it the back door. And they would use the backdoor system, that it's a backdoor. It works, but it's a backdoor. Not that it's bad. Remember, you're out of the us versus them, like Tom McDonald's song. How'd you like that video? But the us versus them, it's now that the breathing was considered the front door. Knowing how to use breathing techniques and mastering them you can actually change. But I believe just knowing how to use very, very, very easy breathing techniques can reboot you, rewire you, and change you from a mindset, even from anger into that. Because you start learning transmutation of alchemy within the breathing. That's why it's very important to me. But some may be exercise, and you might have to put on a song. Gratitude. Because gratitude's a very important thing. Because if you're weak at gratitude, you're a grumpy guy, you need more gratitude, because gratitude brings forth the very things that's hard to do on your own, as far as get your own discipline, get your own positive mindset, get your own discipline, get your own not blaming, but taking responsibilities. A lot of that has to do with breathing. Your breathing can rewire you. Breathing can take you to another level in every aspect of your life. Breathing is important. So gratitude, breathing. Gratitude and thankfulness would be similar. Doing something for somebody, not out of charge, meaning you're not looking to receive something back. You do something just for somebody, just out of the goodness of your heart, whether it's just this little minute thing as holding a door for somebody. You see their hands are full and you say, let me hold the door open for them. There is so much energetic field of positivity and connectedness, because we're talking about being connected to that higher self, not falling out of it. And that's really what the tool system I use is learning to use your spiritual tools, meditation, right? Awareness, meditation. Some of these tools you don't use at certain times. Breathing, of course, all the time. Think about this. When they talk about having a Lord and you talk about the elements, water, fire, earth, and air, these are all elements that you have to live. Think about it. You have to be on earth connected, right? You need food, but you can go a while without food. You can. You can go less time without water, but you can. You can't go no time hardly without breathing. So there's something about the oxygen connected to the ether in this alchemy that makes changes within you and your system. So it's a very key model. But it also gives you these other, gratitude is very important. If you're ungrateful, you will bring chaos to yourself. And if you have the aspect of kind of the grumpy person, practice gratitude. And that means start doing meditations and start talking about gratitude in your meditations and your what you're doing. I want more gratitude. Your affirmative stuff you're doing. More gratitude, big time. Whatever your tool may be in that. Some may have some other tools that they use that keeps them spot on in that higher frequency and vibration. So you're looking at definitely meditation, breathing, exercise is one. That can be a big toolbox for you. It may not stop something where you can't do exercise, and sometimes you can do some exercise. You can't go to the weight room, but you might do something that is similar to exercise that you can do isometric just at that time to break it. Just to get, if it's a tool that you can use to do that, it's a tool. We're not going to limit what the tools are. I'm taking the foundational tools. Positive mindset, positivity. What can I use so I don't leak? How can I tighten my screws, my nuts and bolts? I need my toolbox to do that. This is similar, but in a metaphorical way. What tools can I use to keep me online, to keep me in space, to keep me going, to keep me in that? And that's really what it meant. It's a great question. And these are the kind of questions I really don't mind. I'll even put together a little list and then I'll share it on here next time on this, because it kind of came to me of how do I use tools? What are tools? We want to keep you tools to stay in your space of your very vibrant, creative, goal setting, positive energy of love, frequency, vibration, and not a lower self, something that will take you to low, because we do. You have the other side of you that is you. We talked about how important it is to recognize the other side of you. I even brought out how the other side of you can be the darkness emanating from yourself, just reflecting that your dark side says, love me. You put me in the room and locked the door and left me, and I ain't got lunch in 2 years or 20 years, right? You forgot about me and you need to redeem me, because I'm part of you that was hurt maybe as a child or whatever your situation is. Marriage, people get hurt from these situations that can be traumatic. And we've talked about how something about traumatic situations draws people into waking up. It's not the comfortability, the comfort zone. And I know entrepreneurs say this all the time. I've said it multiple times if you listen to past videos of mine. being in the comfort zone will be your downfall. There's no growth in the comfort zone is the old saying, and that applies even in the spiritual realm. Taking full control and mindset over the things that you need to do, being aware. And that's why awareness is number one. When you're hitting high consciousness, you have super awareness. When you stay in that space, you're really aware, okay, this thing's coming. And if you stay meditative in that awareness space, your meditative states can stop some of your carnal, egotistical, reactionary that tries to come on you. Whatever reaction that it tries to draw you into, and belief systems, or lacking, or anger, or dismay, or negativity, whatever it is. It's meditation really trains your brain not to react. In the fact you got space not to react. When you're not meditating and you're not in a meditative space, you'll never really recognize that you don't have space. You just react. But when you're in meditative space, it's like being going to catch the boat, and it goes by, and you go, "That's not my boat." You just let it go. You don't react to it. "That's not my ship." "Yeah, that's not my ship." Those are like thoughts, because these come from thoughts. Or the negativity, why you need your toolbox, usually spurred by thoughts. And the thoughts will connect to your ego. The thoughts connect to your very weak flesh weaknesses, and whatever you are, because we all have them. What is your weakness to make you go, that can bring you down to your lowest thing, where you feel like you're defeated, or feel like, God, I got to start over. We don't want to start over. We want a really quick restart, reboot, like your computer. And that's what I'm saying, using these aspects of this, having a toolbox that you can use and know. Even write a toolbox. Get a piece of paper, write what your toolbox is. Put it under your pillow. Kind of like if you want your goals, do the same thing. Write your goals, different pieces of paper. You want so-and-so amount of money. You want to create that. You want your business to flourish. You want to be able to finish your goals. You want to create a business, whatever it may be. You want to stay on course on your energetic field, because it's going to be really important for everybody to just not get locked in and be caught up outside themselves with the stuff that's being pushed outside of you. Very, very important to stay. This is a time that I'm going to tell you all, just coming, and what's going to be coming is stay the course. And this means draw nigh unto yourself. Draw nigh into whatever you want to call it, universe, God within you, the connection to all. Like I said, I did a video, persons. Well, persons have names. What if you're the all? What do you call the all? I mean, the source. You're connected to that. You got to connect to that. It's part of you. Your soul is part of it. It can't be destroyed. It's connected. Eternal. Come on now. We have aspects. We always got to overcome one side of our thinking, right? Because one side of the thinking will challenge. That's why we want to get in the middle, the center, right? If you remember the Tom McDonald song that just did, that we had a reaction to, the esoteric sim, when it was right versus left, and then he came by himself, not wearing blue and red, actually was telling the truth, was kind of the centered aspect, the gray and the black. He wasn't wearing red and blue. He was the balance of knowing self. That's what I see it as. Very esoteric, meaning they were the ones being played, not you or you. You're being played by them who you think got your best interest. And this is even with us. We need to realize going too far right, too far left in our thinking even leads to, once you go this side, you're judging the other side. Once you go this side, you're judging the other side. You're going to automatically be one-sided, and that means the other side is your opposite or your opponent, and you're going to judge that. Your creative factor staying centered. And that's why when you see these two hands, people say prayer hands. It's not prayer hands. It's left and right brain coming into unity, and you're in that little space between them both that's balanced, the center, the neutral zone, your creative power zone, where you don't have judgment. That's why we want to stay and have a toolbox. What keeps you in these spaces? And I mentioned a few things. If you have some more, drop them in the comments. I'd like to see them. I really would like to interact, maybe implement some. I know what works for me. I know what my weakness is. Oh, yeah. This is knowing thyself, is knowing what your strengths are. What's your strengths and what's your weaknesses. But this was me. This is the I am. Saying, you're crazy. No, I am. the I am, right? The I. You are you, right? We all have this connection of having these aspects. We're really well equipped with some default settings we need to really work on and go in within and change it. We have some bad default settings through the system or your parents' upbringing. And remember, I'm going to give space to our parents and grandparents and great grandparents. They didn't know. They taught us a lot of stuff, but they just didn't know themselves. If they'd have known better, they'd have did better. But they don't know. And if they're still alive, they don't know. If they don't know, they don't know. Your mom, pa, grandparents, they don't know. They don't know the reality. They may not know the truth. They may be deep dive still in the religion or science or believing the system, right? You're the one that's came out. You're the one that's came out with the truth. You're the one that's been the challenge. You're the one that's challenged yourself. You're the one that's finding out more about yourself. So the toolbox is important. That's why I really like the toolbox aspect. Make your own, create your own toolbox so you stay in frequency and vibration at the highest state so you can be the best you can be. Share this video. You guys have a great day.